Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do the end of the year book tag. So I have done this one in the past at some points. I don't know if I did it last year or not. I will have the original creator video down below as well as all the prompts. So there's just a few prompts. It's like 6 prompts. So we're just going to go through this and just talk about some of my end of year reading to see what I can get done. The first prompt is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So I have 3 that I plan to finish. There's a lot of stuff I stopped and paused. But anyway, first one is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I did start this earlier this month, but I just have not gotten back to it. It's just, I picked it up, I think, a little too early after my reread of House of Earth and Blood, and then I just got caught up with other books that I was reading at the time. I do want to get back to this. I did get about 200 pages into it out of 800. So I have 600 pages left to read of this. I definitely want to get it done before the end of the year in order, because the next book comes out in, I think, January or something. So anyway, I do want to finish that this year. I would like to finish Death on Gokumo Island by Shiishi Yokimizo. This is translated from the Japanese by Louise Hill Kawai. This is the second book in the Kandaichi detective series. Anyway, it follows the Hanjin murders, I believe. So this one I started, I didn't get very far. I got like 40 pages, and then I just got distracted because I started it at a time where I was, again, something happened. Anyway, I changed my mind and didn't want to read it right then. But it's one I want to read because I have several other of the books in this series. So I want to continue. I want to read this one so I can read the other ones that I own. And I think there's another one that I don't even own yet, but I don't want to keep buying them until I get through it. And it was really interesting. The mystery hadn't started yet, but I mean, getting to know the people. I'm going to have to restart it though. But I do want to still finish that by the end of the year. And I want to finish The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, which means I probably need to restart it because I read about 110 pages and then I got distracted. Cat. Anyway, Cooper. Anyway, but I do want to try to get back into this because I would like to read more of the Stormlight Archive next year when the 5th book is supposed to come out, and try to get on track with this one to get back into that. But I'm probably gonna have to restart this because I read this earlier this year and it was at a time when I was reading a lot of other stuff. So anyway, I would really like to finish The Way of Kings before the end of the year. Number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So this book I'm picking because it's really gonna be like my next book. But that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. So this one is the first book in this series. And, but I read the first 18 pages and it kind of talks about her going to this island, which is kind of cold and stuff. And it's like, it's not winter yet, but it will be later. So it's kind of fall, it's in fall still. And, she's talking about how cold and rustic it is. It sounded to me like an autumnal book. I do not read seasonally. I don't pick books because it's a season, except for, like spooky season or something like that, but I don't read things for heat or cold or whatever. Like it doesn't, that stuff doesn't bother me anyway. But this is as close as an autumnal book as I can get because it kind of starts that way and is a book I'm going to read next. So anyway, is there a new release that you're still waiting for? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And they're all coming out in November and maybe December. I'm not positive. The first one is Born to be Badger by Shelley Lawrenson. This is book 4 in the Honey Badger Chronicles. I just adore this series. It's just so much. Book 5. I think this is 5. Sorry, book 5 in this series. This is, again, it's a paranormal romance series with a group of honey badger shifters and their love lives pretty much. But there's always someone's attacking, someone's getting hurt, somebody's getting killed, kind of thing. They're just hilarious because they're just crazy people. I just love that series. And again, I love Shelley Lawrenson stuff, so it's just one of my favorites. I also am looking forward to Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry, which is a prequel to Legends and Lattes. I really enjoyed that, and I would like to see more in that world, so I'm excited for that. And I would say now one of my new releases that I'm looking forward to is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, since I just finished Fourth Wing, and now I'm more excited to see where things go in that world. So those are there's just a few of my pre-orders that are coming in. I think that's most of them, and they're all around the like early November, and I think the other ones might be late November, early December. I can't remember. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So they're all series books, but in different parts of the series. This is a series ender with Dark Harmony by Laura Thalassa. This is the last book in the Bargainer series. I just have not gotten to this and I keep putting it off. So I'd like to make sure I get to this before the end of the year, so I have completed this series. It's a fantasy romance. I would like to read Ravensong by TJ Klune. Again, it's another one I pre-ordered that I want, or this is one I pre-ordered that I want to get to. So it is the second book in the Green Creek series, and I just adored Wolfsong, so I definitely want to continue with this fairly soon. And then my brain was getting ahead of myself, but this is a pre-order book. The Foxglove King by Hannah Winton. I pre-ordered this earlier this year and just have not read it yet. And because it's a pre-order, I want to make sure I get my pre-orders read. So that's why I want to read that one. And this one, this is the first book in a trilogy. And it's, I enjoyed her Wilderwood duology enough that I bought this hardcover of this new series, but I haven't read it yet. So we'll see this fantasy. So I don't know. I mean, it might be fantasy romance too. I'm not positive, but I still need to get to that. So those are the 3 I definitely want to make sure I get to. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Well, I mean, anything I read could be that. So I'm going to say the option is there that any of these could actually become my favorite book of the year. I don't know what will be, because I already know, I mean, what I know what my top 2 so far this year are, but I don't know what'll be, you know, else on that list. There's quite, you know, I've been reading a lot of series. I'm guessing it'll be a series books. I do have some standalones that I want to get to that they could just come out of the nowhere and do that, you know, be my favorite book. That's kind of what happened with Plain Bad Heroines. I was not planning on that book at all on it. I really enjoyed that last year. So, you know, it's one of those things where I just don't know what's going to happen. So yes, I think something could come and shock me and become my favorite book. You just never know when you're a mood reader what you're going to pick up. And then the last one is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Yes, I am definitely one of those people who think of a lot of things that I want to do in the next year. That doesn't mean I do all of them. I'm trying to find easier challenges than the ones I picked this year, because I have failed on a lot of them. And I don't mean like, they're just a lot of the books that I thought I would get to, I just now don't want to read, or I started stuff and I don't want to read that. You know, like, so yeah, I'm a very big mood reader. So I want to keep my list a little shorter on certain things I want to read and certain series I want to plan. I already have a few series I'm for sure going to read next year. Like I talked about Stormlight Archives, I would like to read the rest of that series, you know, what's out, and then be ready for the new book. But we'll see how it goes. Again, there's other series I want to read that I've been collecting books for, or they're books that are on my shelf that the next book is coming out next year. So I want to read those and catch up to those as well. So I don't know. I've already thought about a lot of things that have to do with next year, but again, I'm a scheduler. Maybe not as much by trade anymore, unfortunately, but I did it for over 20 years. So I kind of, there's a lot, you know, I still think that way of trying to think how to work things out. It doesn't always work though. So anyway, that is the tag. Hey, if you've been seeing this and want to do it, go ahead and do it. It's a really fun tag to do every fall in order to get you kind of thinking about the end of the year, or spring. You're on the other side of the globe. Point is that it's a great end of the year kind of thing to look at, books that you still want to get to, or you're in the middle of that you need to finish, which is something I have a lot of problems with. Anyway, so that's Cooper, and I'm Amy. And if you do this tag, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.